All right, guys. So this was not the original video that was going to go up today. In fact, it was going to be a video, another art topic, because I've been like really on a roll with the art topics. I'm really inspired, and I got the stuff done. And the video got claimed before it even went up. So I kind of gotta do this one last minute while I re-edit the other video. So that video will go up next week. Sorry about that, but with Twitch's new DMCA rules and YouTube's new rules, I don't know what's up with their site, but they be messing up real bad right now, and there's not much we can do about it. So it was that or not do an extra video this week, and I really want to stick to my 3-episode upload schedule right now. It's helping me a lot with my concentration. It's helping me a lot with my work. And yeah, so there's that quick little shill before we get into the story time of this video. So, hey, just so you guys know, I stream more on Twitch now. I am streaming at least 2 to 3 days a week to get commissions and artwork done. So if you want to follow me there, all my other social medias are in my Linktree link down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe and watch the video all the way through the best you can, because YouTube is dumb and the algorithm likes that and it doesn't like other things. And I have to say that now. Even if it's something dumb, you're probably seeing it more and more, or a lot of your favorite creators are like, hey, like, comment an emoji or something in the comment box, because it just tells that little YouTube bot that you are interested and you want to get my videos in your box. And I think it is working, because now more people are seeing my videos again, and I'm getting more people who are commenting like, hey, just for the bot. And that's lovely and great. So we're going to do a fun story time today. Now, this is, I know the title might be misleading, but it's all about how mine and Cody's my husband, how our first year's wedding anniversary ended up in disaster, but it was so much fun. And it's such a funny story that I love sharing it with people, because it's great. Because sometimes, especially when you're around certain people, you'll have like disastrous situations happen to you, but because of the people you are around, it's just hilarious. You know, in any other instance, it's like, oh my God, how could this happen? But in other cases, it's like, this is just a great memory that you tell friends. And I gladly tell this story for a long time. So also apologize in advance if you hear like sirens or stuff going on in the background. I live in a city and there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So I can't, literally nothing I can do about that. So let's get into the story time. So for anyone who's new here, hi, I got married back in October 22nd of 2018, after a very, very, very terrible year. 2018 was probably the second worst year of my life. 2015 is, no, I'm wrong. October took the cake, but 2015's under there. Anyway, very terrible year. The only saving grace for that year was a con and my wedding, and that was pretty much it. So for our first year wedding anniversary, which was last year, 2019, we genuinely didn't know what to do, because, fun fact, Cody and I didn't go on a honeymoon. It's really weird. A lot of people think it's really odd that we didn't like spend thousands of dollars on a honeymoon. Now, here's the thing. We did originally have a trip for Japan planned, but again, money stopped that for our honeymoon. So that's now going to be a, like, when we hit 30 goal, is to eventually have like a vacation in Japan. Because my husband and I have been together since high school. We've been together for 12 years, married for 2 now at the time of recording this. So when we turned 30, we both turned 30 in the same month. So we thought that could be a fun, like, a jumping off point, because we're kind of like normie people. We make normal people money to where, like, we can't just go on a vacation to another country every year, despite Sick Spiky Round Boy. It's, it's one of those, like, if we want to do it, we got to plan for it and budget for it and do a lot of stuff. Compared to people who can go like every month, Not that there's anything wrong if you have the money to do that, but normal people don't have that kind of money. Again, is Sick Spiky Round Boy or not? So, anyway, so we didn't really have a honeymoon. Instead, we had a staycation where Cody's new work was really nice. They let him get like a week off, so we got to like just spend a week in our new apartment that was ours, and we just vegged out, and we needed it. We were both in very like mentally stressful situations, so that week to just chill out and be potatoes was amazing, so we didn't really have a honeymoon. So we were trying to think of what to do for our 1-year wedding anniversary, because our wedding anniversary, our date meant more than the day. So we ended up getting married on a Monday, and so that means that for the next 5 years, 4 or 5 years, give or take, our anniversaries are going to be in the middle of the week, and we are both adults. with jobs. So when that happens, sometimes you can't go out on your anniversary. And that's just kind of a fact of life. And that's just a part of being an adult. So what we started doing was he came up with the amazing idea that he's like, hey, why don't we go camping? You've never gone camping before. And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds like fun. Because I'd never gone like camping. Now, where I live in Southern California, you can go like woodsy cool camping, but most people do desert camping. And I'd definitely never done desert camping before. So it was just the two of us, which is something we are never going to do again from the ending of this story. But it was me, the two of us. We ended up borrowing a friend's truck. I ended up getting my gun license because I wanted to shoot a gun. For you guys who don't know, my husband has weapons, but they're all certified. He's got his license, got everything done. And I just never done it before, and I'd always wanted to, I wanted to say that I did. And so did everything smart and by the book. So, you do everything legally, kids. Also, fun fact for anybody who wonders, like, I'm not a fan of guns. I'm not personally, but my husband has them, and I don't care if he does. It's to each his own. That's not the point of this conversation. But we went out there. We bought a bunch of stuff. We rented. We borrowed like tents and stuff, and we had an air mattress. And we went out there, and we were so not prepared. It was a great area in the Mojave, and I don't remember what it was called right now, but they do, like, there's a lot of areas in the Mojave in California where you can just do, like, desert camping and stuff. But we were out there, and we were seeing people with, like, RVs and trucks and ATVs and stuff like that, and they had, they had legal sections where you could, shoot your stuff, and you could do things. So, yeah, all legal, all to the book, nothing stupid here. And we weren't drinking or doing anything inebriated like that. So what ended up happening was we ended up getting there, but we ended up starting a lot later than we wanted. And we only had the weekend. We didn't have any other time. So we ended up getting there on Saturday morning, right around like 4 or 5-ish in the afternoon. Maybe 3, I don't quite remember. No, it was around 3. But we realized, oh no, we have no firewood. We thought we forgot firewood. So Cody had to drive back into town and get some firewood, which is about an hour's drive away. And there is no cell service in this area whatsoever. None. And so I was out there at the campsite, so we had to like stay with everything because we had just set up. And I chilled out by myself. I read a book, and all of a sudden, wind just came, and oh my god, it was just me, and I was freaking out because I had no cell service. And again, because of the shooting areas that are legalized, your campsites are not near anybody else at all, and there you are pretty desolate. Like, you can find people if you're going for a walk for a while, but there's a giant radius that you are just you and your little campsite area. So I took down the Easy Up because we had set up an Easy Up, and I put a lot of stuff in our tent, and I just kind of hid in our tent. And I ended up trying to take a nap because there was not much else to do with the wind going on. So I put on an audiobook I had pre-recorded or pre-downloaded on my phone, and I was chilling the thing. But I forgot to close the little fly catch part of the tent. So when I woke up, there were bees, and like not like 1 or 2. There were like 8 bees at the top of the tent that had gotten the tent, and I just looked up at them, being like, "Oh, wonderful bees!" And they didn't really seem to bother me, so I was just kind of watching them, terrified and waiting. And I brought a book, and so I started reading a book at that point because I couldn't. The buzzing of the bees was too distracting for the audiobook. And I was like, oh god, what am I going to do? And then another thing hit me. I had to go to the bathroom. In the wind. In the middle of nowhere. Now, Cody had told me this already, so I'd been like mentally prepared for it. But I've never had to, dig a hole and squat in it. Because that's like the kind of camping it was. And I am also a biologically born woman. So it is a little harder for us. Especially, if you wear pants because you're in the desert where there's animals and bugs and bees. So I had to dig a hole. I had to, because of the wind, take off all my pants I had to like put the shovel in the ground to like make myself stationary while I went, and then I had to dig it up and bury it. So that was an adventure. And I'm also a lady that goes to the bathroom quite a lot, especially if you're out in the heat where you're drinking a lot of water so you don't dehydrate because you're in the middle of the desert. That's bad. So I was in the wind, pantsless, and this is foreshadowing for something that happens later on in the story. But, went back to the tent, chilled with the bees, tried to read, and it was it was almost sunset, and I was starting to get worried because I'm like, I have no car. I have no cell service. I do have a backup battery pack and all my stuff in my backpack. But I'm like, if it gets so bad, I'm going to have to just tough out the night in the tent and then in the morning go find a campsite and someone take me to town and find out what happened to my husband because there's no way for me to contact him. Turns out, reason why it took Cody so long, because he was gone for almost 3 hours. So by the time he was back, it was sundown. But it was like just sundown. So we didn't get to get a lot of, boom, boom, bang, bangs in. But I did get to fire one. And that was fun. It was very interesting. I learned that I suck, and again, not for me, but hey, I learned it, and I tried, and I did it legally, so you can too. Anyway, still did that. We made camp, and I found out that by made camp, I mean we made the fire, and we cooked food. I found why it took Cody so long. It took him so long because, surprise, surprise, we didn't know that you need to have a fire permit. So when he bought the wood, the guy at the store was like, hey, you have your fire permit, right? So he had to go to a fire center, like a little, not a fire center. What are they called? Like a ranger station kind of area. And he had to apply for a permit to have a fire, or else we literally wouldn't have cooked any of our food. All of our food was to be cooked. Like, we didn't bring anything that couldn't be cooked. So we were very, very ill prepared for this. So, that's why it took so long. So when he got back, got the permit, we got the wood, got everything, and we started, yawn, sorry about that. We ended up, cooking some food and chatting and having a good time and having, some really nice conversations. And it was beautiful out there. That is one thing I will say, is the Mojave at night is beautiful, and it gets cold. We knew it was going to get cold. But it was going from like an 80-degree day to dropping down to like 40s to 30s. Now, for some people who are like, in the Midwest and stuff, who are like, oh, that's nothing. We understand cold. Yes, I know you do. I'm a Californian raised person, a Southern California raised person. We're used to the dry baking heat. So whenever I go to Texas and people are like, it's only 70 out, and then I get out and I'm like, the humidity, it is not 70. You are lying. I love my Texas friends, but your 70 is not California 70. So whenever they come to visit, they're always like, it's so cold down here when it's not cold. But anyway, I'm rambling. Here we go. So, we're having fun. We're having a good time. We blow up the air mattress because I have back issues. I can't just lay on the ground. So we, we did some husband and wife things that husband and wife things do. And we went to sleep for the night. And so what ended up happening in the middle of the night was we had a tornado warning. It wasn't actually a tornado, but it was like tornado storms. And we didn't get the warning because there's no service. But it was so bad that I woke up to Cody screaming because the tent was ripping apart because it was literally being ripped out from the things, and our campsite was in shreds. Now, we put all the fire out and everything when we went to bed, so we didn't have anything like that going on. But we were freaking out. It was the middle of the night. I would say 2 or 3 in the morning, and it was freezing. It was dark, and we were both naked. And so, while there was a windstorm going on, so in the dark, in the middle of nowhere, with no cell service and no way to see things because the wind was blowing it everywhere, we had to, both naked, we had to take down all of our stuff, throw it in the truck, because it wasn't our truck. We had to try to find our clothes to, kind of get dressed. And I, for the life of me, could not find my pants at all. Screw underwear. I could not find pants. And I didn't bring any skirts or anything. So Cody just literally put on his trunks, and he ended up, wearing, a shirt. And he found his jeans, but he didn't put them on until later. And so we're holding things up. We're trying to hold stuff down. Because remember, we borrowed the tent and a lot of the supplies. The only things that were ours were like the sleeping bags, the food, the air mattress, the boomsticks and all that other stuff. But oh my God, it was such an utter disaster. But we couldn't stop laughing. We kept making each other laugh. And even now, I'm thinking about it and I'm trying not to laugh. Because when I tell you that story the other way, you must have been terrified. I'm like, if I was with like probably any of my other friends in this moment, terrified. Well, I wouldn't be naked, but terrified. And I know he would be too. And his friends would be like freaking out while they're trying to get stuff done. But we just kept laughing because it was so hilarious that we're like, what is happening? What is actually happening here? So I eventually found my pants, but they were so disgusting and dirty and covered in dirt and dead bees and all this other stuff that I had to shake them out and put them on. And couldn't find my shoes. Shoes are in the tent somewhere. We got everything basically kind of tied down, got in the truck, and just drove. And we were so disheveled and out of it. And we're seeing fucking people in their campers, having a good time, just waiting out the storm. And we're just like, oh God. But the second we got service again, it was like extreme wind warning, extreme dust warning, extreme tornado warning, if you don't have this, and this, get out. And we were like, of course. So here we are, haggard, tired, exhausted, barely dressed, dirty as hell. And it's at that point, I think it took less than an hour to get us all of our stuff in and all this stuff to happen. But we got in the truck and we were like, we are 2 hours away from everything. Like from our house, my parents' house, the friend's house who we borrowed the stuff for. We were screwed. And we didn't know what to do. And we were honestly contemplating sleeping in the car. And we just, at one point, we like stopped. And we both started laughing. Because what are the odds that our first wedding anniversary, the first time going camping and all this stuff, everything that could go wrong went wrong. Everything. You know, we didn't have the permit for the wood. We didn't even have wood. We didn't have any backup stuff. Something I forgot to mention was we only brought one skillet. So we had to try to boil water for tea and hot chocolate in a skillet that we made grilled cheese in earlier. Spoiler, it tasted disgusting, but it's a funny story. And so, God, I even now, it's so surreal. So we came to the conclusion, we called my parents because they were technically closer to our friend who we had to give the truck back to. And we were like, hey, can we like stay the night? Because my dad was a night owl, so my dad was awake. My dad was like, oh, sure, what's wrong? Where are you? We're like, we're in the Mojave. It's going to be like 2 to 3 hours before we get back. And we got to my parents' house. It was sunrise. And my dad saw how messed up the truck got. Because my friend's truck was a white truck, so it looked dirty. He saw us haggard, disheveled, barely having our clothes on right. And my dad just laughed. He just laughed at us and let us in. And we both went upstairs to the guest room and both just passed out. We were so tired. It's so done. And the next day, we both took like vigorous showers and cleaned out our hair. And then we just started thinking about everything that had happened. We thought about the bees. We thought about the fire. We thought about the wind. We thought about how we didn't get our timing right. We talked about how we weren't even prepared for food. And then all in all it happened and we thought about it. And we're like, but I wouldn't take it back. Because it was so funny. Because having this weird, crazy adventure is such a funny story to tell. That, you know, literally everything that could go wrong went wrong, but because I was with my best friend and my husband, he made it so much better. Because I am telling you guys right now, I love my friends. Oh, if I was with my friends and this stuff happened, we'd be chewing each other out. We'd be cursing at each other. We would not be working together. We'd all be freaking out. But it was like weird that it was just the two of us. To the point that this year, in 2020, we ended up going camping again for our anniversary. But we ended up going, it was kind of a surprise. Some of Cody's coworkers came along with us. And it was so different going along with people. And one of them brought a camper, so I was able to use a bathroom. I know, I'm sorry that I'm so privileged that, like, when I'm camping, I like having a bathroom. But, oh my God, it's night and day having a toilet, even in a camper. But, oh, it was so much more fun. And obviously stuff went wrong too, but not as bad as this. And it's one of those things where like, all right, what did we learn? We can't go camping, just the two of us, because the universe says no. But when you're with friends or family, then you're fine. You guys are gonna have a great fucking time camping. So there's the magical story of how my first wedding anniversary was a disaster, and I would change literally nothing about it because it was such a fun, amazing, weird experience that it just made the memory, and it's going to be a memory I'm literally never going to forget. And now that I'm putting it on YouTube, it's going to be there forever, so I never have to forget it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you, as always, to my Patreon patrons. And again, if you want to hear some stories from Cody, because Cody's got some really wacky, weird stories, let me know. So he can do some audio for that, so I can have some spare backup footage if my stuff gets copyright claimed again, even though I don't know how it could, because it's my audio and my visuals, but that's the choice of YouTube. Anyway, love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.